All right, we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our weekly live training where we help runners, triathletes, and busy high achievers stay injury free, train smart, and finish strong without burning out. Even if you have to juggle work, life, and recovery. I'm Coach Shangrila. I'm a 2 times Guinness World Record holder, best-selling author, motivational and keynote speaker, and high performance triathlon and endurance coach. And I'm here to share to you the question that I got about swimming. You guys are ready for this? All right. So, who's new here? I want to see hands up, feet up. Who's new in the group? Welcome, welcome. Put it under the comment. I'm actually going to have my phone here so I can also read all your comments. Because what I want is, I want you guys to be talking to me. I don't want to be just talking to myself here. This one will be more fun if I'm actually if I can actually read what you're saying. We got Chris Lano. How's it going, Chris? We got Chris Ma. Hello, everyone. So, well, let's do this one. We have a question, but before I go to the question, if you did miss the big announcement today that a lot of athletes have been asking about it, like, Coach, I need help on swimming. Where do I start? Or I'm having a hard time with breathing. Or like there's just a lot of athletes, especially those who want to do triathlon or who's new to swimming. Today, this morning, we just put this one out. It is free for limited time only. While it's free, grab it if you want it. Put under the comment here, freestyle breathing. If you're just watching the replay, do it as well, because you never know if this is still free when you're watching it. Just put freestyle breathing under this replay or this live, and our team will give an access to you. All right. And then also today, what I'm going to do is also show you what's inside and also some demo videos that will help you with my answer to the question today. Is that good? All right. Okay, so let me see. All right, we got Jennifer as well. Hey, Sarah, how's it going? Okay, so this is the question. Let me read it for you. I'm currently breathing to one side every 2 strokes, which forces me to exhale quickly. If I want to practice a longer, more relaxed exhale, how do I know when to take my next breath? Have you guys thought about that? You guys, is there anyone who have the similar question related to that? If you do have similar question, put under the comment. Or should I switch to breathing every 3 or 4 strokes, or is it based on how long I can comfortably exhale? I'd really appreciate some guidance on how to find the right rhythm. All right. So basically, what the athlete is asking is relating to breathing rhythm. Okay. So I want to ask those who's listening to live or replay, how many here breathe on every stroke? Okay. Let me just show you. Every stroke is basically every second stroke. So like, for example, if I'm breathing to the left side, I'm going to be like this, breathe, and then breathe again every time. All right. Now there's also, he mentioned here, breathe on every 3rd or 4th stroke. So if you guys know odd numbers, right? Odd numbers, 1, 3, 5. Okay, so if it's like 3 or 5, that's basically what we call bilateral breathing. It lands, you're switching left and right. So how do we do that? So if I'm going like this, breathe, 1, 2, 3, and I breathe on the other side. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3, I breathe on the left side. So that's basically 3rd stroke. So now if you count 4th stroke, you're gonna land, on the same side. All right. So let me just show it to you, just so that you understand. So like breathe, then you're gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So we do understand the question, because I know we have several different levels here. We have athletes who are badass, really kicking butt on the swimming, but we also have athletes wherein they're just starting. I want to make sure that you guys all understand that one. So should I switch breathing every 3rd or 4th stroke? So I want to ask for those who are in, here live, I want to ask, how often do you breathe? Is it every 2nd stroke? Put 2. 3rd stroke, which is bilateral breathing, put 3, 3rd, 3, all right? Or if you're doing 4th stroke, or whatever breathing that is, you pick and choose. I want the number. So I'm actually looking into this one. What is your number? What's your breathe? How often do you breathe? And if it's 2, what's your favorite side? Is it left, right side? Okay. I'm looking at, we got Sarah B3. All right, let's see more. 3, 2. We got my 2. Mine, what side? Is that left or right? I actually was B2. Yeah. We got 3, 4, Claire. Hello, Claire. Welcome, welcome. So when I started with swimming, by the way, is my worst worst sport. Okay. And so swimming, I started with left side. Okay. Because really, to me, when I started, I actually didn't care what side. I really just, like, I just want to be able to, get my laps done. Because so, like, to me, the athlete who asked this one, I had the same thing. I had the same question, like, what is the right way? Why do I really need to breathe both sides? Why do I need to breathe on the third stroke? And so I first learned to swim as an adult. So I had zero swim background. So I just basically follow what other people say, or I look out like, okay, I think I want to try that. Who here who started like that? Like, oh, I think he's doing really good breathing on that side. Let me try that. Who here have done that? Like, when you're looking around, okay, trying to pick some tips, because I was that person. Okay. So to me, my goal wasn't really to swim beautifully or efficiently. I just want to get to the other end of the pool without panicking. I just want to be able to breathe. All right. Who here is a master in breathing? Like, you guys got this one. Like, if there's wave that comes at you, or the person just slap at you at the face, but you're still like good breathing. Who here are expert, masterfully breathing? Put it. I'm a master in breathing. Put a hands up. Anyone here who's master in breathing? Okay. To me, I wasn't. And honestly, guess what? This is a good thing for those who's just breathing on one side. Okay. For 5 years of my first 5 years of triathlon, I was breathing only on one side, and I was getting by. All right. So I was like, all right, well, I just want to be sprint. Let me level up. To me, my leveling up is not about getting faster. My leveling up is going longer. All right. I went longer and longer until I get to the 10-kilometer marathon swim, or the back-to-back triathlon or Ironman, which is, I do have it here on my world record. So, but back then it's more of like, okay, let me go longer. All right. Until I get to the Ironman. I was already finishing Ironman, like actually within just less than a year, I finished a full Ironman. But I continued 5 years, continued to do full Ironmans. I was only breathing on one side. But what I didn't know, like, I was breathing on one side. What I didn't know are like what, like what was what were my limitations back then? Okay. To me, because I was strong on the bike, I was strong on the run, I get by on the swimming. What I didn't know that just breathing on one side I got into a plateau. Okay. And then not just that, I'm going to tell you more like, okay, wait, because the next question, I'm sure, who has the question, do we really need to learn bilaterally, like both sides? Is there anyone who has that question, or kind of confused of like which part, which one is better? Which one is more efficient? Which one is good that's going to get me to the fastest finish time? Okay. So to me, I was breathing on one side. It was all good until it wasn't. And it's mainly because I started developing chronic pain on my right shoulder and my rhomboid muscle. So I was injuring myself. In my head before, like, oh, and because to me, it was hurting like when I reached to like 1500 or 2000. And to me, in my head, you know what? It's mainly because I'm just going longer. That's why I start hurting. I think I just have to get used to it. Anyone here have thought like that? Maybe I just need to get used to it. Okay. That was what I thought. Then the next question, you know what? I think maybe because I wasn't doing any strength workouts, I started lifting. And then I even hired a personal trainer who I was meeting for 3 times a week. All right. But like, it was still hurting. Like, why? Why is it hurting? My shoulder, my rhomboid muscle is hurting. And then, but what really changed it is when I started studying stroke mechanics. Okay. And then like I was like really tired, I geeked out on it. I got obsessed on it. And I started getting all the swim coaching certification, really studying what's happening. And then I learned that really the bilateral breathing is not just about, being able to breathe or see both sides. There's a lot more into it. Okay. But when I started breathing bilaterally, I was able to realize that my non-dominant side was the one that's actually having the other faulty technique, which is poor body rotation on that side. I didn't know how to control my body on that side. So I was lacking rotation. Anyone here who knows, whether you're over rotation or lack of rotation. For those who are new, if you're not aware of the rotation, that's totally fine. Because honestly, when I was new back then, I really thought all we had to do is just circle our arms and then we're going to move forward. And then also, like, as long as we breathe. I had no idea what rotation was back then. But if this is new to you, then yeah, that's one of the things that you want to develop and make sure that you're rotating well on both sides. And while you practice breathing on both sides, you're going to be able to develop good rotation, which is I strongly recommend. Okay. And the other things that I also realized as soon as I started working on my non-dominant side, I also realized that the other arm wasn't really as strong as the other arm. Like it was just like getting by. Anyone here who can relate to that? Like, have you guys realized that? Anyone here? Or am I just the only one? Shannon, I like the B3, good. Jennifer Pittman said, my shoulder bothers me after I swim more than 800. Anyone here who has like shoulder pain? All right. So like those are the things that you want to take a look at. Could it be because, I'm breathing on one side? And the next thing also, because I was only breathing one side, I was breathing on my left side. All right. Guess what? This part here, my right neck here, yeah, it's tight. It was tight and it's gotten tight because I just got used to it for so many years. And also because I was doing also back-to-back Ironman already. One of this one is the 5 Ironman, 5 consecutive days. That was back in 2015. I was breathing on only one side. And when I did the Ultraman as well, I was just breathing only on one side. I got by. That's what I'm saying. Then the next thing, so now when I trained bilateral breathing, let me show you of what I have here. When I trained bilateral breathing, okay, and started exhaling fully and continuously underwater, my rotation improved, my body was more balanced, and my stroke became smoother, and the pain on the shoulder and then the rhomboid muscle was gone. I'm not saying that just, you do bilateral and everything's going to get solved. What I meant by this is that if you do attempt to breathe bilaterally or, work on your non-dominant side, what I want for you is to realize the other things that you may have not worked on, and you're ignoring it, just like I was, because you're finishing the distance. But what if I tell you right now that you're really limiting your potential as a swimmer? Because if you think about it, few seconds every lap, guess what? It's few minutes that you get out of the water and go to your bike right away. Or also not having pain or discomfort. And the next thing is for you to be efficient, wherein you're saving your energy, right? Okay, so now let's go back to the question. I hope you got a lot from that. I'm going to answer the question later after I answer the main question, which is, do I really need to learn how to breathe bilaterally? I'm going to answer that after I answer the main question that was asked earlier. All right. I'm currently breathing to one side every 2 strokes, which forces me to exhale quickly. Basically, like if you're going to have to breathe every stroke, right, you got to have to like exhale fast, right? Because, you got to inhale, right? So the timing of your breathing is very important, which is basically, and that's what I teach. If you guys haven't gotten this one here, you actually get an access to this freestyle breathing kickstart. All right, this one is free, by the way. So this one is free, and then when you download this, I'm talking about, so you download this 100+ pages kickstart mini book. You download it here. And if you do Control F and then just put rhythm, I'm talking about rhythm all here, okay? And I even put images here so you really get it. And then also tips and then exercise that I would love for you to do so you really master your breathing rhythm. And then right here, which is going to be my answer to the next one. I'm going to show it to you. I'll go back here. So first, what I strongly suggest, let me drink water. Are you guys following? Any questions so far? Any question popping up so far? Put it under comments. So start by building your foundation. Okay. So the athlete asks, Coach, I'm gonna exhale long so that I can go for bilateral breathing, which is breathe on third stroke or fourth stroke or fifth stroke. Okay. But I'm gonna just, rephrase that question. Because for you to be able to breathe bilaterally, it's not just about you exhaling long. You guys got that? It's very important. Okay. It's not just about exhaling long. All right. Because even if you exhale long, but your other mechanics or stroke mechanics are not good, like your glide, your rotation, your catch, you will most likely drink water. Or you probably just off time, your timing is off and you can't even rotate yourself. Okay. So it's not just about exhaling long. It's not just about, it would be so hard for you because I tried it myself so many times, like seriously. So I would see a swim coach in person, do technique drills. And then I go to the pool. All right. Try to practice it. I try to practice it. And then the next thing I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try to breathe on my non-dominant side. And basically what I was doing, I wasn't doing any technique drill. Okay. And even when I tried to do what I was doing with my coach, I wasn't getting it. So my strategy back then is that I'm going to go swim and I'm going to just basically force myself to breathe on the non-dominant side. It's not going to work. You can try, but it's gonna almost not, I don't know. If you do that just by like thinking, all right, let me just force myself to breathe like on my non-dominant side. There's a lot more into it. And basically here, I said start by building your foundation. You would need to do specific technique drills. Why technique drills? Anyone here who does technique drills, raise your hand. You guys, what's your favorite? What's your technique drill that you guys have been working on? Put it under the comment. I want to see. I want to read those. And while you guys, okay, so Robin wants freestyle breathing. We'll get that for you. All right, so you want to do technique drill. So now, coach, I look online and do breathing bilateral technique drill. Okay, unfortunately, YouTube really doesn't have those demo videos that really breaks down breathing. Okay, I did try to already research it. They wouldn't have it. They wouldn't have the way I explain from someone like me who truly understand where you guys are coming from, because I learned how to swim when I was 30s, like literally, like I was scared. I just wanted to be in where I can stand, where I can touch the bottom. And if it's deep, I'm like, shoot, this is so high. I'm like, no, I don't want to be in the deep water. I was terrified of open water. So now, how do we do this? Well, really, we need to break it down. You cannot really just swim freestyle and think about, I'm going to force myself to do non-dominant side. There's a lot more into it. And it's to the point, to the very basic of training yourself to exhale continuously and gently, whether through your nose or mouth, as soon as your face returns underwater. Okay. All right. So the more even and longer you exhale, the more relaxed and efficient your breathe comes. And this one, honestly, it requires a practice, because I've coached a lot of athletes, thousands of them, mostly remote. And it's just a habit, like we're shortening, we're in a rush on like the breathing, the exhalation. And that's exactly what I've talked about this in this, I call it mini book, because it's really, it's 100 plus. And I really put a lot in it. And even, Vineta and I took a lot of pictures. So if I put here rhythm, okay. Yeah. So I'm talking about, throws off your rhythm. And so you want to read through it. So like right here, breathing. So you want to make sure that, there you go, breaks in rhythm kills your momentum. Okay. One mistimed breath throws off your alignment. Your legs drop, your arm timing changes. So it's really important that you get the rhythm. The next thing here is that your rhythm breaks down if you hold your breath, or there's actually a question. So like one of the things that I talk about this one, overthinking your breathing pattern. So that athlete, yes, go to that, download this if you haven't downloaded this, okay? You get an access to this, to the member site. It's free. And then right here, I'm talking about overthinking your breathing. So should I breathe every 2 strokes or every 3 or alternate sides? So basically, what I want for you is, yes, do the foundation, the technique drills. What technique drills? If you're new to swimming, I'm already giving you the start, the kickstart of like how do you breathe? And if you go here, okay, there are demo videos, and I am telling you of calmly and continuously. So like I'm in the pool and I'm really telling you of like how long you're breathing, what's your mindset, so that, because the thing about it is that if you are not able to breathe okay, calmly, when you're standing without moving it, what more if you're already moving, right? So you want to really break it down. So my suggestion is like, because I don't have a lot of time on this one, I actually went over already, but yes, go on to this one, because here I'm telling you of what you need to do, okay, to get that, for you to start there. Okay. All right. So now the next thing, so when to breathe. Okay, when to breathe is the question. So there's really no one size fits all. Okay, but here's the smart guideline. If you're new to swimming, my suggestion is for you to start with breathing only one side. Okay, master that. Master that. If you're starting and like you're brand new, master that. However, okay, don't get stuck to just doing one time like I did, because to me it took like 5 years until like I realized, dang, I need to do something. So guess what? I had bad habits already, lack of rotation, over rotation, a lot of different things. I didn't care. All I wanted is just like, I gotta go long, I gotta go long. And which makes it harder because I then, like was practicing the bad habit, right? It was harder. So like if you're doing keep swimming without knowing whether your technique is good, it's good, you're finishing the distance, but are you efficient? It's going to be much, much harder. All right. So if you're new to swimming, start with breathing only on one side. Now, the next thing is that bilateral breathing every 3 stroke. It's a great place to start for training purposes. It builds symmetry and rhythm. I'm going to talk more about the bilateral later on. Okay. But I strongly suggest for you to get bilateral breathing. Okay. Now, the question is that, well, coach, what am I going to do at the race? Do I need to be bilateral? Well, I saw that pro, he's only breathing one side. Why do I need to do bilateral breathing? Well, yeah. So like, it's okay for you to do just one side. When you're at the race, go do whatever it takes for you to go to the finish line fast. How about that? It's basically what I would love for you guys, just like when you have a bike, all right? How many gears do you have, right? How much cadence do you want to be able to pedal? You want to have tools. You want to have different options and be able to strategize your race. If you're only breathing one side, how can you be able to further strategize really well and finishing strong, right? So a lot of times there's nothing wrong at all in breathing every 2 strokes. Honestly, I breathe every 2 strokes for the most part, but I will throw in some bilateral breathing there. Okay. So I love bilateral breathing. I have no problem on both sides, but I wasn't like that before. So every 2 strokes is common in racing or hard efforts because you need more air. Some athletes like, I just need to get some air. All right. Um, but ideally, you should feel confident on both sides. So you can choose based on the situations. Okay. Yeah. So, like, for example, like I mentioned to you, if you're riding your bike, you wouldn't want, okay, you wouldn't want to be in big gear, hard to pedal when you're climbing the mountains. Well, what if you're only trained to do big gear all the time, right? So you want to have like different options when you're cycling. Same thing as with swimming. You want to have different ways or options for you, okay, to choose based on the situation. Okay. Then the next thing, well, why do you give me every 4, 5, or 7 strokes? Yeah. So I have athletes and I coach them, and like I push them a little bit, have them, give it a shot, breathing every 4th stroke, 5th stroke, 7th stroke, 9th stroke. Why not? Okay. Why? Because it helps, okay, with your oxygen capacity, okay? It can be used for drills to build breath control, but not regular training or racing. You can do it, but for the most part, 3rd stroke, 4th stroke are the common ones, okay? You guys are getting a lot. What's standing out for you? Type it up so other people can follow through, especially for those who just calling in. Okay, what are you getting so far? Put it under the comment. I want to see and read that. All right. So let's do this one. Okay, so like for example, I'm gonna share to you our badass athlete Pamela from Texas. Pamela, reach out to us, coach. I have about this one as a relay, so half. Coach, I have about 6 mile in Key West to swim, and I only have 13 weeks training. And she was in training for 6 months. And at the time, her pace was around 2:30. Okay. So now, is that a fast or good? Well, if you're swimming long, you want to be, faster than that as much as possible, right? So, guess what she said? When she was swimming in Key West and the wave was like really high up, the current was really strong. What she told me, coach, I use what you taught us, which is the B3, B5, B7. What I meant by that is basically having your head longest while breathing, while swimming. It's mainly because she did not really feel, I mean, like she was not really drinking water because her head is in the water. So meaning that her head was in the water much, much longer, and she was using the longer. And Key West, as you know, is open water. It's in the ocean, right? So every 4, 5, 7. So she used that technique. Okay. All right. So let me see what more. The next one, also another athlete, Mark, from Illinois. So Mark, when he started, he was only breathing, okay, on one side. So his pace already back in February was 135 minutes per 100 yards. 400 yards, it was 139. And I asked him, Mark, you're pretty fast. Do you try bilateral breathing? Can you breathe both sides? And believe it or not, even fast people, like Mark, he said no. I would try it occasionally, but I did not feel too comfortable doing it. Anyone here who's fast, okay? Anyone here who's fast that you haven't tried it, okay? If like you're fast, I'm sure you like challenge. I suggest you do try, just like Mark, he's fast, but he wants to get faster. He wants to hit that sub 130. Who here wants to hit sub 130? What's your goal pace? I want to know what's your goal pace. Anyone here who wants to just basically finish a lap and start swimming? Just finish a lap, coach. How about who here who wants to hit, sub 2? Okay, you've been stuck in 230, 215. Where are you at? Is it who wants to get to sub 2? So for Mark here, okay, he wants to get to hit sub 130. So what we did here within just a month, and that's why I'm sharing this to you, because I asked him like, hey, I would love to help you out with bilateral breathing, not just because you'll breathe both sides, but because I'm seeing that there's the way you swim, it's asymmetrical. Okay, you're lacking rotation on one side. All right. So what I had to do here, okay, is we had to go through the program, okay, but fast forward within a month, he got himself 1 month only, okay, from 135 to 127. He's been working on this one, but he got his faster. Then the next thing is that he was able to breathe bilaterally, and his pace was just as fast as his unilateral in just 1 month. Okay. So what am I getting here? Bilateral breathing, if you want to learn it, it's not, it doesn't have to be long, it doesn't have to take long as you're doing the proper stroke mechanics, the proper technique drills. And that's what I had to work with him, when I was giving feedback. And what we had discovered is that his non-dominant side wasn't as strong. And what, like, his arm would drop, wasn't really catching. So we had to also dial that in. So it's not really just, oh, I'm going to do bilateral breathing. Why? I don't need to breathe on one side. And that's the next question. Okay. Next question here that I'm going to answer is that, well, okay, do anyone here who has the same question, do I really need, okay, to breathe bilaterally? Is that your question? All right, let me answer. Your breathing pattern doesn't have to be rigid. So that athlete who asked the question, should I do B3, breathe bilaterally, or B4? Okay. No, you don't have to breathe always on the second stroke or always on the third stroke. My suggestion is really to play along. Play. Okay. And see what's the most comfortable for you. Okay. So definitely, I suggest that you do your best to get that bilateral breathing, or be able to breathe on both sides. So you have choices. And these are the reasons why I strongly suggest that you do. Okay. To keep symmetry when swimming. Okay. Because when you have body symmetry, it promotes good body rotation. Have you guys heard of people saying, hey, you gotta move like like the wine opener, like going like this. So you're like rotating. So you're like rotating at the same time moving forward. All right. As you glide, as you pull, right? But there are athletes who just do, like, for example, those who breathe only on the left side, they go rotate. I have this one here. It used to be in fine arts. So I have this one. All right. Believe it or not, fine arts. But yeah, so I had this one. So like some athletes breathe, okay, breathe here. But then guess what? They don't rotate well. They're just flat. And then breathe again. What they don't know is to move their body here, right? On the other side, they don't know that. And that is asymmetrical. What we want is basically, whether you're breathing, both sides or not, your rotation should be like this. Okay. Like I call it rotisserie chicken, you guys, or barbecue. And actually I mentioned that on the book as well. So I did talk about, if I go back there, I'm pretty sure I mentioned that there. Okay. So if I go back here and I put barbecue, oh no, there's no barbecue. Can't find it. But basically, yeah, so like right here, I am mentioning the rotation on one of these images here. Okay. You want to make sure you're rotating. Okay. So I did talk about that. If that's something that you need to work on, make sure to get that free breathing freestyle, or freestyle breathing. All right, next, to be more efficient and faster in swimming, as you practice bilateral breathing, faulty swim techniques, particularly caused by your non-dominant side, will come up to surface. So, you're gonna open can of worms, like basically, like things that you need to work on, which is a good thing, right? Because it's much better to know what you need to work on rather than like, dang, how come I'm stuck to the same place, the same pace? I've been swimming and I'm stuck. Well, like the video analysis, taking a video of yourself, we'll get that. Now, a lot of athletes like, but coach, how am I going to be able to take a video? I really want to see if, like I really have a rotation, like, or no rotation at all. How can I take a video? I don't have anyone to take a video. I don't have a GoPro. Guess what? on this also, I tell you of how to take a video, even if you're solo. Okay. I give you a demo video even of like how to take a video of yourself. Okay. So there's a lot of, yeah, there's a lot of tools here because I really want you to move forward. This is the barbecue that I was telling you guys, the barbecue skewer, BBQ. Okay. But it will be on why one short video could change your swimming forever. All right. So I tell you a story and why that is necessary. And then how to record a swim video demo inside. So if you click this one, I show you what are the things that you need. And it's only 3 minutes here. So that you can see yourself finally. And you'll be like, dang, I look good. Right? Okay. Or, oh shoot, I look bad. I have so much to fix, but that's a good thing. Okay. But I strongly suggest for you to take a video of yourself. And yeah, let me see. The next one here, to promote swimming straighter in open water. Why? Because whenever you don't breathe on both sides, you know, like I said, there's asymmetry. Okay. Now, a lot of times it's common that one arm is stronger than the other, or the navigation also is not good. And that's the next one here, to be able to adjust well in open water. Okay, for sighting, or like when the sun is at your face, or you can't sight, or you can't breathe on the other side because of the wave, the current, or the person. You want to be able to be more of offensive, right? Like, all right, I'm good. There's no one on the other side. When buoy is on the other side, so you on your non-dominant side, so you want to make sure you got that one. Okay. So I want to ask you, what stood out for you? That is my answer for that question. We talk a lot about things. What stood out for you? Put under the comment. Would love to know. Or any question that pop up, you know, because we did, I know it was only breathing, bilateral breathing, but I was talking about a lot of other things as well. So is there anything that pop up? I want to see any questions here. Good job, Jacob. Good to have you, Jacob. So now, Jacob, what about, let's do sub 2 minutes, right? Okay. All right. Janice, it's too roughly. All right. The next goal, 145. Or baby step, 10 seconds off. That would be nice, because all those just few seconds every 100 yards really, you know, is a good feeling, especially because if you're going to the pool every, you know, like let's just say 3 times or 2 times, you might as well, like, why do you go to the pool? Because you want result. I want to see that on the number, right? So yeah, check that out. So that's what I do have for you guys. As of right now, this is free. You know, grab it, put freestyle breathing. If you haven't gotten it, you're missing out, because we have upgraded it so that you have all this access here. And every time you take action, okay, you get extra coaching support. And that's how I built that in, because I don't want you to just, oh, I'm going to download and you're not getting support. All right. And then plus you have this free group for you to get more support. All right. Okay, everyone. Have a great week.